for the Dementia Care Conference. We work on making sure these are topics that are really relevant to caregivers and they're things they want to know about. So we look at previous evaluations from previous conferences as well as caregiver workshop evaluations. So we're really excited about the lineup this year because it's what people have asked to know more about. So we have a neurologist speaking about prevention, how to prevent and slow Alzheimer's disease. We have a panel of people living with dementia. So we're really excited for people to have that firsthand experience and hear that directly from people living with early dementia and their caregivers. And we have someone who we've never had before, a child life specialist, talking about if you have a child and they notice changes in grandma or grandpa, how do you talk to them about that in a developmentally appropriate and not a scary way? We've actually had a lot of questions about that in the last couple years. We also have Holly Glover, who's coming from the Dementia Care Center in Fort Worth, the James L. West Center. So we're excited to have her talking about family dynamics, which can be kind of tricky when you have a whole family who's trying to care for a loved one with dementia. And then our final session is going to be on behavioral health and dementia, because some people, they may have a loved one who's having very severe mental health issues while they also have a dementia diagnosis. And legally, that can be kind of difficult for families to navigate. So we have someone from Ocean's Behavioral Health talking about that.
What is the biggest thing you think people take away from this?
I hope that they feel empowered and that they just get more education, because I always say it's not intuitive to know how to care for someone living with dementia. You need to have education because it doesn't come naturally to anyone. People on a dementia care journey get in situations where they don't know what to do, and that's why we're here, and that's why we held this conference to educate not only family caregivers but professionals as well. We will be offering 6 CEs for doctors, nurses, social workers, LPCs, just because we need this education for professionals and for families.
I imagine it's nice to just, be around people that are fighting the same fight as well.
Yeah, so it's such a hard journey caring for a loved one with dementia. So being in a room with people who are all trying to learn about how best to care for someone with dementia, I think is really good for caregivers.
About 2 years ago, he's still considered early stage mild cognitive impairment, but I can see some progression that he's getting worse slowly. So he lives here. He lives in Mineola, outside of Mineola, and he spends the summers in Indiana. So he came back from Indiana the fall of '23, and he had got his meds all messed up. He was not well, and that's when we really noticed it for sure. And so, like I say, this has been a long-time relationship, but we are not married. We do not live together. And so because he has a daughter in Massachusetts and another one in Sulphur Springs, there's really no one close by to be there to help him, and that's what I try to do.
Mm-hmm. What is something that you've learned about this, caring for somebody that you would never have guessed, I guess?
Well, it takes a lot of patience. I know that, and sometimes I find that that's in short supply. But I don't know. I'm just feeling my way along with this. I've never had any dealings with this before, and it's quite a journey.
What do you think the most unexpected thing has been?
That's so hard. I think that I feel like maybe if he just tried a little harder, he could think about this and do it. And I think that's what's hard to come to grips with, is that they can't. They're unable to do the things that you would think they could do. I noticed recently he will say anything, and I noticed recently that that he thinks about doing things, but he's not able to carry through with them, and so he will say that he's done them. So that kind of thing is interesting to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yes.
What is having the support of people like in this room had
It's good. I wasn't sure. I'd never been to a support group before, and I wasn't sure that this would be for me, especially since I'm not a spouse. And so I wasn't sure. And I find it very, very helpful. Even if I don't have anything to really contribute, I can just be a sponge and just soak up what other people say and learn something that way. I've learned, about things that you can put on your phone, for instance, that I might not have known about before. But it's also good. I think it's a social outlet to be with people that are experiencing the same sort of problems.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's it.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?